All right, 3, 2, 1.
Take off.
Welcome back to the NFL Alumni's continuing coverage of Super Bowl 59. I'm Bram Weinstein. We're presented by Pacera, transforming how the world treats pain. Here's Louisiana's own Brian Mitchell back home. What does football mean to the state of Louisiana?
Oh man, it's everything. You start. I've been in Virginia for a long time now, and they talk about how great the football is, and I'm like, football is life down there. We heard Joe Witt say that this year, and it's the truth. We everybody from the moment you can run around, you want to play it. I played in the yards, the fields next to my yard. Played it with my older brothers. Then when I got the chance in the 8th grade to start playing real tackle football for the school, it moved fast. 9th grade I was starting quarterback for the varsity football team, and everything just went with that because it's something everyone wants to do. Yeah. Everyone wants to be a part of.
Yeah, LSU is such an enormous deal here. Yeah. The Saints are such an enormous deal here. Football really is life down in Louisiana.
It is. And LSU was right across the road from my house. My son ended up going there, but I went to the University of Southwest Louisiana, which is now called ULL, because they gave me an opportunity to be a quarterback. And that was my thing. I wanted to play quarterback. And it was an unbelievable move for me because they allowed me to utilize every skill I had and just moved on. But this state, if you can run that football, you got a chance to get wherever you want to go.
We've had like 11 Super Bowls down here. This has become the hub for having the Super Bowl. It's almost in like a rotation here now.
Hey man, New Orleans is one of those popular places where everything is in a close proximity. When we've been to some Super Bowl cities where everything is so spread out and it's hard to have everything going. Then on top of it, there are enough hotels in the nucleus to be able to have it going on, just like Las Vegas is. Yeah. I think you can go Las Vegas, LA, Miami. Well, San Diego don't have a team anymore. Come to New Orleans, things like that, and you won't miss.
Yeah.
I don't believe in going to the cold weather cities. I know they want to have them, but it's worthless.
Yeah, I agree. And this place it caters to the tourism. And what I think also too, what down here is really interesting, this is the second time now. There was a tragedy that occurred here a couple weeks ago. Hurricane Katrina occurred many years ago. Football can really help a community rebuild.
It's resilient, and I think Drew Brees, and when he was here playing, and the way he reached out to this city and connected with it, and the way the Saints did it through him, because there was a lot of what Drew was doing, they brought him back from Katrina. The incident that happened just a few months ago, and then boom, right back you have this thing going on. You look at this convention center. If you have to come walking here, I was at the hotel across the street from it. I was thinking I'd walk across the street, walk into the building. I walked across the street and I got to walk like a half a mile down the street, and it's nothing but this convention center. So how big this is tells you exactly how people love this city and love coming to it and supporting it, and that's why they're so resilient, because people around the world love this city of New Orleans.
I want to ask you about your career for a moment. With Devin Hester going into the Hall of Fame, your name is resurfaced, obviously, as someone who, would, should be there. How are you thinking about the future in the Hall of Fame with the induction of Devin Hester?
You know what? Seeing it happen, it gives you the possibility. I always felt like I should have the possibility. And then when Devin mentions my name and people begin to look at the stats I did, you got to go break somebody else's stuff to get where you want to go. And it happened that he was breaking my records. He wasn't breaking anybody else's record but mine. And I think, I didn't start this game to be a Hall of Fame. I started this game to be the best Brian Mitchell I can be. And then when you retire, if you're number one at everything, you think that means something.
Yeah.
And now somebody else comes along and things begin to break and they forget about the person who's basically said it. Listen, I was a quarterback all the way through college, had never returned a kickoff punt until I got into the league. And to be able to make that transition and get there where people even mention my name with Hall of Fame, that's enough in itself. And I hear Gale Sayers saying back in the day that, Brian Mitchell's one of those guys who could have played in any era because he's that good. That makes me feel good, but I think it'll be more for the people coming behind me, grew up in those small towns, got an opportunity, and for my kids to utilize that, Pops went out there and did some things.
Did you think you'd be good at it if you hadn't done it before you got to the NFL level? When they asked you to do that, did you think you would be good at kick return?
You know what? I just always felt that football is a sport where you're going to get hit and you can hit people. And if you got the ball in your hands, then I don't care if you're a receiver, running back, whatever, you are a person who should know how to run the ball against folks. So I felt if I can figure out the the idiosyncrasies of how to catch the punt and read a punt, I could be okay with it because the kickoff came instantly.
Yeah.
The punts were different. As I tell people, you can give me 20 right-footed kickers, 20 left-footed kickers, and the ball comes this way.
Yeah.
You give me 3 right-footed punters and 3 left-footed punters, and every punt is a different spin.
Yeah.
So you got to become very, very good at that. And at first, I was terrified, but when I get the ball in my hand, I knew I could do some things with it. So Wayne Sevier was very, very important in making sure I could understand that. Pete Rodriguez came in and took it to another level. And when I went to Philly, John Harbaugh was like, look, dude, you do some things that I probably wouldn't teach, but you keep doing them. Because I would take my eye off the ball, look at the coverage, come back to the ball, because once I saw how it was spinning, I knew where it would go. So I would run to the spot and stop watching the ball, and then I could come back and it comes right to me.
Let me ask you about state of the game. So you were part of Redskin teams that were great, and for a long period of time, great. And when you hear people say about fatigue of the Chiefs because of how much they win, what do you think, having been part of a group that was there every single year?
Get over it. I don't know what has happened in this country, and I don't know when it happened, where people hate success. People don't like sustained success. They rather hate on it instead of trying to figure out what are they doing, how are they doing it, and try to make themselves better. It started with Michael Jordan winning, and then they didn't want to give him MVPs. Right. It makes no sense to me. If someone is very good, I am going to take their tape and I'm going to dissect it. We live in a day of analytics, but nobody wants to break down and figure out how to get there. They just rather you hate on them so I can come up and show myself. I like it. I played for Andy Reid. I watched Pat Mahomes, and those guys, they work at it. That's why they're so good. And he said it about Jaden. He said he watched Jaden this year, and he said that guy got better every week. He said, and that's what it takes. You can't just be talented. You got to be able to take that talent and work on it every week and try to realize what people are trying to do to stop you. He's done it. 8 years in the league, 7 years as a starter, 7 AFC championship games, 5 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He's doing something right.
He is doing something right. All right, last thing. You had a really long career as a player, from youth, college to the NFL. You've stayed connected to the game for all these years. Why did you want to stay connected to football for so long?
I've always felt that football was my way out, to get where I wanted to go, get me a scholarship. And if I once I got a scholarship and got my education, I could do whatever I wanted to do. And then what it did for me, I want to see it happen for other people. And also I try to be a steward of this game, because this game did so much. Like, football wasn't just where I made money. Football made me become a more disciplined person, made me become a man, made me understand how to work with people from different backgrounds and walks of life and things like that. So why not be involved with it? And then, it gave me an opportunity to jump into this profession, where I don't have a problem voicing my opinions, and I have a way to do that. But I also want other guys to understand that you can do the same things, but it's not going to be handed to you. You got to go out there and work hard to get it. So I want to also be like a leader, but I love sports. I love watching. I love competition, and I love success. So Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, they keep me watching too.
Brian, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you, Brad. Definitely, brother.